Hello everyone, this presentation is about diagnosing of Taro leaf blight and armyworm on Taro. And here is the outline, presentation, introduction, field diagnosed, and conclusion. And field diagnosis is mainly based on Taro leaf blight and armyworm. Out in the field to diagnose the Taro leaf blight. Taro leaf blight is a fungal disease that spreads rapidly in warm, wet conditions. The symptoms can be dramatic and damaging. It is caused by fungus which is called Phytophthora colaci. Therefore, the early symptoms, as you can see, water-soaked brown or dark purplish lesions starting at the leaf. So it is very damaging and causing the water-soak start to getting bigger and bigger. Therefore, it causes the lesions to expand quickly, as you can see, becoming irregular or circular patches, yellow halos often from around the lesions. And moving further, as you can see, the advanced symptoms, lesions collapsing, leading to large areas of dead tissues, leaves collapse or drop prematurely. Under humid condition, a white fungal crown may appear on the under of the leaves. So this can cause damage to the leaf, as you can see, and it causes damage to the tissues of the plants. And as you can see, it covers all the leaves, and this is the first leaf of the plant individually. And then moving further to the next leaf, as I've mentioned, it will cause the leaf to dry up. So therefore, as here you can see, the leaf is very dry up, and we'll come to this how it will affect the photosynthesis in this process when we cover up the pest. To add on, as the Taro leaf blight starts and move on, therefore it expands all over the leaf. As you can see there, it really moves all over the leaf area and affects the leaf. So you start seeing the leaf getting dry and yellow. So this will eventually result in loss of petiole, then drop off the leaf, as it will show up soon there, the drying of the leaves, and then drop off the leaf or prematurely die off. And then after this, it will move on to the another leaf and continuously. So this will result in total failure of the leaf or might die. So it is very economical loss to the farmers. So it is wise to control the Taro leaf blight. For our base, we are looking at army or cluster worms, referred to as Pteroptera litera. So therefore, as you can see on the picture, that's the cluster of worms, and their eating damage is by chewing, and they cause a lot of damage, as you can see from the video, and they make small holes, and later they increasing in numbers by laying larvae. Then from there they start to damage the tissue of the plants. Therefore, armyworms or cluster of worms, they are very damaging, chewing on leaf, irregular holes, and sometimes entire leaf eaten. Young leaf feed on the lower leaf surface, as you can see, scraping it and leaving a window band appearance. All the leaf can be defoliate the plant completely. Damage weakness the plant and makes it more susceptible to disease like TLB. Therefore, there is a difference between these two. TLB or Taro leaf blight lesions are water soaked and fungal, spreading from the existing damage. But for the army or cluster worms, is a feeding mechanical, or the feeding is mechanical, caused by chewing mouth pads. As you can see under the leaf, drastic or devastating damage. With regards to the photosynthesis, the amount of sunlight taken up by the plants, this is really affecting the Taro, especially when it comes to Taro leaf blight and armyworms, because both causes severe damage to Taro leaves and reducing the plant's ability to photosynthesize and produce the plant food. Therefore, TLB leads to water-soaked lesions and rapidly leaf decay, as have been previously shown on the video, while armyworms chew and skeletonize the leaves. Together they weaken plant growth, lower comb quality and yield, thus resulting in lower income for the farmers, and can cause total crop failure if unmanaged. Their combined stress makes the crop highly vulnerable, especially during wet season. Therefore, photosynthesis, especially through the leaves by the chlorophyll and stomata. This really affects the taro and resulting in comb yield, which is very little and sometimes get rot. So soon we'll see how for nutrients, sunlight and space due to competition. There is a huge competition among the disease, pest and the plant itself. Therefore, for example, DLB itself is a disease, not a living organism competing for resources. But in agricultural or ecological terms, disease and pest indirectly compete with the crop for resources by reducing photosynthesis, weakening the plant, making it more vulnerable to other pests or disease. Therefore, so here competition likely refer to the competition between the infected crop and the pathogen or other pathogen or pest, and how DLB reduces the plant's ability to compete foliation and stress, so thus result in plant competing with the disease in order to produce new leaves and absorb the sunlight or intake the sunlight in order to produce more sunlight, and as well as the nutrients uptake from the soil. That's competition which causes this. Like I have said, as the taro leaf blight and worm, they affect the taro leaf, it results in rotting in plants, as you can see on the video. The rotting of the comb. So we're gonna get this and see or observe how this really affecting the comb. So observe carefully as we got open up the comb. Like I have said, taro leaf blight and armyworm, they're very devastating. As you can see, it really affects the comb by causing the rotting of the comb, and the yield is very small, especially the comb. So this results in less economic income or feedback to the farmers. Therefore, taro leaf blight and armyworms are really damaging the yield of the taro. Therefore, I'm suggesting the cultural and biological method, especially as the strategy to manage taro leaf blight and armyworm as the best. Now, taro leaf blight as the disease, especially when combined in an integrated approach. Key cultural practices including removing infected leaves early, white plant spacing, site selection with natural barriers, isolating new crops, and using disease-free planting material. These methods are most effective during the endemic phase of the disease. However, during endemic, removal of all infected leaves harm yield. Intercropping with corn also reduce disease severity, biological, and all this. Therefore, it is best to use the cultural and basis, and as it is the cheapest method and affordable to the farmers. With regards to the armyworm, it is best to use biological control, which is the introduce of wasps to control the armyworms, and also the birds and ants in the field to biologically control or feed on the armyworms to reduce the effect on the taro leaf. For the managing methods, firstly for the taro leaf blight or Phytophthora, use resistance. First method is use resistance or tolerant taro variety. The second method, if the case you've tried out like biological and resistance and it doesn't work out, and it comes to a point where you can apply the fungicide, example mancozeb, but at the early infection signs only. Therefore, fungicide is not regarded, but when it comes to the point where you really need to use it, and you are encouraged to use it. And for armyworms, regular monitoring and manual removal of larvae. The second method is apply biological control. Example is Bacillus during genesis, or insecticide if infestation is severe only. Therefore, to conclude this presentation, I would like to say that you, as our farmers in the Pacific, we should regard the strategy management and especially the method on how to control that is affordable and cheapest for us to use in order to get our return back and meet the market requirement and gain our economical income. So for this, thank you for listening to this video.